Well, we came here in 81 and my husband started by working in Wetaskiwin and I continued working with the federal government and medical services branch. And he was hired in 1984 to the Talmud Torah school as a grade 4 Hebrew teacher. So he worked there for 5 years. We started our family. We had 5 children. And so Talmud Torah would have to be my number one spot. I was a volunteer there for 20 years. And every Jewish ladies group in the city that looks for fundraising or is involved in doing any kind of activities, not as a member so much as a worker, I came out. And then 18 years ago, I got hired by Jewish Family Services. So I've split my time between JFS and Talmud Torah. And I've been quite active. I've helped out in the summertime in Heritage Days. I helped fundraise in Hadass and Naamat, National Council of Jewish Women, or you name it, I've been there fundraising. I was a bingo chairman at the school. I was a casino chairman. Anywhere there's money to be made to help Jewish organizations, I've been there.
New one.
My husband, when he taught there, they were still on 135th. When my children were in the school, that's when they moved to the West End, 5 minutes from our home. And I was there every day in the new school and every day in the old school. So between volunteering when my husband was still teaching and then going on when my kids attended, I was a daily volunteer there.
Or was it?
We just moved here maybe 4 years ago. We were on 124th Street in my time, 2 different locations, one over by Stony Plain Road, 103, 104 Avenue. And then we moved to 102 Avenue and 124th Street. And then we moved to the West End. When we first came here, my mother passed away soon after, and my dad moved in with me. I brought him home from Toronto from the Shiva, and we were quite involved with Chabad. And my children and my dad went on a regular basis, and he schlepped them along behind him every Saturday morning. I think I've volunteered and made thousands of latkes for them over the years at Chabad, stuffed every calendar in the September newsletter. You name it, I've done it. Blew enough balloons up for Purim and Lag Bomer and any kind of picnic, and cooked and done everything. And Beth Israel as well. In the last few years, my son has joined Beth Israel. But I also, through Jewish Family Services over the last 18 years, we used to do a Meals on Wheels program before COVID stepped in and said, no. So we would use the Beth Shalom and the Beth Israel. I would request the use of their kitchen, and we would take out meals to seniors that were in nursing homes or at home alone. 4 or 5 times a year, we would take out a meal. And I would collect up 30, 40 volunteers to do the cooking, the cleaning, and the deliver. That's the position I have as a smart worker in Jewish Family Services was began 18 years ago this August as a joint effort between the Jewish Drop-In Center, another place where I hang out a lot, and Jewish Family Services.
Tell me a bit about the drop.
It was a 16-year project, and 18 years later, I'm still here. The Drop-In Center is a great place for seniors. It's had its ups and downs over the years, and the kinds of seniors that it attracts today are different than the seniors it attracted 15 years ago, because the baby boomers are a whole different type of senior. They're been educated and worked all their life, whereas older seniors that are in their 80s and 90s were survivors from the war or housewives in their home. And, they had different priorities and different things they were looking for, and were happy to come out and volunteer and help in the kitchen and do the meals. And they would take transportation. I used to be a driver, a volunteer for people. When my dad was alive, I used to drive one day a month was my day to drive 6 people from the West End. Now these people that come there are looking for parking They don't want to ride there, and there is no parking around there. It's very difficult. And the programs that you offer and the interests that people have are not the same that they once had. But they have a lovely lunch program. They draw in lots of people, lots of locals come that can walk there. And then I was on the committee for the seniors for the OPH, our parents' home. And so I worked on that committee for at least 10 or 12 years, helping helping provide the statistics during the building time and the fundraising time. That was my end. I could tell how many seniors there were, what was involved, how many were in nursing homes, what level of care they required, all kinds, any kind of information like that. I was a plethora of knowledge. Like I say, the seniors drop-in center, the needs of the seniors have changed. The type of experience they're looking for has changed. And COVID has really, stopped a lot of people from getting together and being able to sit 60 people in that room and have lunch and celebrate a birthday or a special event, or all those things are gone. Talmud Torah, when my husband started teaching there, had 325 kids. Now I don't think they break 100. And so, my children, when the junior high started there, they attended, all 5 of them attended the junior high there. Junior high doesn't exist anymore. So, everything is changing. Everything as every day comes along is different from the day before. And what's really sad in our office too is, we used to bring the people together. We'd do a lunch, we'd do a program, we'd have a guest speaker come up. Those days are gone. We can't bring people out. And the loneliness and isolation is really, really set in. So we try to phone our clients on a regular basis, but, a phone call is wonderful, but seeing someone up close and personal is way better. And at Jewish Family Services, that's what we thrive on, and that's what our people thrived on. And so this year, whereas before we were doing meals and that, we've been providing gift bags for every holiday, for every yontif that came along, and trying to just keep the people connected. They get a phone call saying, are you interested? A phone call saying someone is coming to their door, their choice to open their door or to answer and speak through the intercom or to have it left outside. And it just makes a whole big difference. Like, nobody is starving and nobody is desperate for the gift bag, but they are desperate for all the things that come along with it. And just thinking that someone cared enough, because now our holidays, like what's Pesach without 50 people at your table, and going to shul, and what's Yontif without singing, and all the rest of the stuff that goes on a Shabbos on a Friday night. Well, those things are gone now. And so if someone cares enough to say, and send you the little tidbits that were always a part of those holidays in the past, it really means something. And we get lots of follow-up and lots of phone calls thanking us for, what we've brought back into their life. Well, we're going to be losing the other school, Menorah school, at the end of this year. And that is going to take with it a lot of families. I have 2 children that were really involved in the kosher community in the Kollel, and one daughter lives in Israel and one son lives here, and he goes to BI now, but very involved with that group of people, with the community, with the 555. All those things that supported this Jewish community are really, really sadly missed, and going to be missed even more as the year ends. Kosher restaurant in the mall is gone now again. It's been back and forth and in and out a few times, but it's gone. I think what we mostly miss is being able to get together at things like Purim and Lag Bomer and all the community events. Purim, like, it was a lost community. I've celebrated and been a part of that every year as long as I can remember, in this, working at the celebration and bringing people together. It was always nice. It was always fun. It was always very Hamish. and those things are gone. But that's more because of COVID than because of anything else. You know, if COVID wasn't stopping us from joining together and being a part of a group, I think those things would have been around this year and last year. But 3 days after Purim last year was when everything shut down.